Welcome back to Untitled-2 podcast. My name is Connor.
My name's Ash.
So, Ash,
Yes.
have you heard that prestigious company Apple uses Google's cloud
Really?
to host iCloud? iCloud is Google Cloud.
That's funny. It's
That's
like
very funny.
Microsoft's email server is the Yahoo email server.
No way.
Yeah.
Do you know what else it's like?
Go on.
How Xbox uses Sony's Blu-ray.
It is like that.
And for every game that Xbox sells, Sony gets a little chip in,
I guess it's
pittance.
Yeah, but I mean, Blu-ray is more than just PlayStation discs in it. It's
Oh, fuck.
movies
Sorry,
and
muting my phone.
stuff like that. It's like how, remember a while ago, there was a Microsoft conference and the guy who was doing the presentation was on a Mac.
Yeah.
I look at it like that.
Yeah, I do. I thought I had another example, but I don't seem to be able to find it. So
It's like you buy a laptop and it could be like the brand is Dell, but it's got like all the components inside it from like fucking Hitachi and Asus and all that shit like that.
It's funny stuff. So speaking of technology, sorry, I just need the table. Right,
Yeah, you did.
I've got RLS going on. So I found this ridiculous I don't even, like bit of technology called the tap strap. Have you heard of it?
No.
So it's basically a knuckle duster that you slide your fingers into, and then you can type
Okay.
without a keyboard. There's no like guide or anything. You don't have to like project a laser keyboard on the table and then tap your fingers. It's all gesture controls. So each finger, as I understand it, each finger is a vowel,
Right.
and then different combinations of fingers and like double taps and stuff is a consonant, and you just sit and tap away,
Right.
and it types, it creates letters. It's a pretty ridiculous thing, but I'm kind of interested in it. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool because it's cool. But I mean, like, I'm not a fan of people trying to recreate the keyboard.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
like-
exactly the most practical thing.
No. And even if it's more practical than a standard QWERTY keyboard, it's just the QWERTY is so fucking ingrained in our system now that I'd be like trying to trying to unlearn how to ride a bicycle. It'd be like if someone just suddenly came along like, "Yo, we're changing the alphabet."
Yeah, exactly.
It's so part of us now that I don't think it's wise. They should try focus on how they improve the standard keyboards
Yeah.
by making them more ergonomic and shit like that, and not making them projected fucking laser keyboards that don't work half the time.
So it's basically a big, long rubber strap
Right.
with 5 holes in it. And in between the thumb and forefinger is like this big block, which is the Bluetooth, which connects to the phone.
Yeah.
And then obviously you type away. They've got a little video like demonstrating it. And it's just like a bit silly. Like some guy's got his phone on the table and he's watching a movie with his friends, and he's got his hand on his head and he's just tapping on the top of his head, and it's typing on his phone on the table.
Right.
And there's a girl like laid in bed and she don't want to wake up.
She's tapping on something else.
She don't want to wake her boyfriend up, so she's got like a hand on her hip, like tapping away and texting a guy on the side or something.
All right.
So the article says, in the near future, you may not need to touch your phone, tablet, or keyboard when you want to type. That's the concept behind the Tap Strap, a wearable Bluetooth keyboard that converts finger movements into key presses so you can tap out messages using any surface as a virtual keyboard. Don't expect a visual prompt or some laser projected keyboard to guide you. It's all done using gestures. You start by putting it on the tap strap. It slides over your fingers like a glove and is made from a soft, smart fabric that has sensors inside to analyze finger movements. It can go on either hand, or you can wear 2 for faster typing.
You can wear 2 for faster typing.
Yeah.
What if you've just got really like dexterous toes as well? Can you wear 4?
That would be great. So there are apparently 31 possible finger taps, and although an accuracy of 99% is promised, we expect a strong predictive text element to play a part of the tap strap's typing skills. Most people struggle to remember more than a handful of gestures, let alone 31.
That was going to be my next point. Like, it sounds pretty cool in that, but I've been trying to get everyone to remember all these different combinations. It's a bit much.
I'm sure once you get used to it, it's like typing on a keyboard. You don't even need to think about it. You just like...
It's just too much of a process when you can just get a good old QWERTY keyboard and start tapping away, and you've got an email or whatever done and ready to go.
Speaking of keyboards, my girlfriend has a French MacBook,
Azerte,
which has an Azerte keyboard. It is the stupidest thing. I was trying to help her with some web design. You know, the curly braces, which are a huge part of like CSS and HTML.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know where the fuck that is on the keyboard. Turns out you have to hold Alt and press 4 for the open bracket and Alt and plus for the close bracket. Ridiculous. You have to hold Shift to type a number. You have to hold Shift to type a full stop.
Wow.
Why? And you know what's there instead of the full stop? The thing you were using a lot more?
What?
A fucking colon.
Wow.
There's other stuff that annoys me about like French like typing structure. You're supposed to put a space either side of punctuation. So if you put a colon,
yeah,
you put space, colon, space. Stupid. Like, I can't get my head around that. And like, you'll put a full stop at the end of the sentence like normal, like because that denotes which sentence the full stop belongs to.
Yeah.
But for a question mark, or exclamation mark, you're supposed to put a space either side. That doesn't. I suppose it's common sense that it denotes the one that it comes after, but still, it should be attached to the sentence. That
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what French people are doing. They need to sort this shit out.
Maybe they did it just so they can lie on essays with like how long it is, because all those extra spaces. And they print out 5 sheets.
Yeah.
If you took out all the spaces, it'd be like 2 sheets.
Yeah. On the topic of foreign technology, did you watch any of the Winter Olympics?
I watched the opening ceremony.
Oh, you did? Well, that's what I wanted to talk about. So, how cool was the shit they did with the drones?
I didn't watch that part.
Oh, no.
So, I watched up until they donned those big fucking, like, dragons and stuff like that, those cardboard things, and danced around, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to go upstairs. Well,
actually, the only bit I've seen is the bit with the drones. So.
Okay.
So, some big company, I don't know, I think it was like Sony or Samsung or someone like that. They got, like, must have been like thousands of drones with a light on them, like a really high powered light, and then there's thousands of people underneath controlling a drone each,
right?
And they put the drones into like formations and stuff. Like one of the things they did was form the Olympic rings in the sky, which was cool, but it was perfect. Not a single drone out of line.
Are you sure it was being controlled by people?
Yeah, I saw pictures of all the people. Like they've got this like uniform they're wearing, and they've all got like drone controllers.
Because
I think it must be like pre-coded formations, and they're just like putting in, okay, go to this position.
Maybe because like I've seen 100 videos before where people have made a drone swarm that can do formations. And stuff like that.
That's exactly what it was. But like they formed a man and they started walking, or they formed a bird and they animated the wings flapping and stuff. And I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Yeah, they might have just been pressing buttons to go to the next phase or something. But I should imagine even that'd be automated. I don't know. I doubt it.
See, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, it's pre-coded. I mean, it looks good, but it's not that complicated. But the fact that afterwards, when I saw all these people with controllers, I was like, no way, all these people are perfectly...
I've not seen it.
You must have been practicing it for like 2 years.
Yeah, well, I've not seen it, so I can't say. But if it's accurate and it looks good and that, I don't think humans have done that.
Exactly. So,
in the moment, it's too...
Like drones... I've heard drones are pretty easy to control. Like they're very steady, and it's not like controlling a remote
It depends on
remote control helicopter
model drone you get. A lot of them have, assist technologies and stuff like that, so it stays level, and it always, like, wherever the controller's pointing is like north for the drone, so that's always forward and whatnot.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't
know. So, moving on, I have a multi-million idea. $multi-million
I'm interested.
idea for a website. So, one big problem I have when it comes to watching new movies with my girlfriend is that often she's unsure of, like, if it's going to be an action movie or it's going to be violent or something. She's quite squeamish when it comes to certain violence, especially like if it involves eyes.
Okay.
If there's like needles or sharp objects going into eyes and stuff. And there's no way to know whether that's going to be there before you watch the film. And she's not the only person. Like, there's hundreds of thousands, millions of people around the world who are squeamish about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people won't watch a film if it's got a centipede in it or something like that. So it would be really cool if there was like a database somewhere online where you could like put in what your specific brand of squeamishness is, and then find out if a film you want to watch is going to like conflict with that.
Yeah.
And then decide whether you could watch it or not.
I feel like there's something like that already out there.
Well, let me tell you that I have looked very hard to find out because I just really wanted to know.
Right. Because you couldn't find anything.
No, there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. Like, not even a forum somewhere, or sometimes people make collections on IMDb.
Yeah,
they could have made a collection of movies with eye shit in it that you shouldn't watch or something like that.
The thing is, though, right? It's all right setting up the database, but how are you going to populate it with data?
It would have to be user created content, and I think that would be pretty easy to do. Like, if somebody, because there would then be this community of squeamish moviegoers that are all looking out for each other, and then someone would like go and watch a new film and get like cringed by something, and then they'd come back and go onto the website and say, okay, if like me you're not keen on, I don't know, fucking anal prolapses, don't watch this film.
This film has heavy amounts of rosebuds.
Yeah, exactly. So
it'd be cool if we didn't have to rely on users, because it'll be hard building up a user base. If we could just make an algorithm that could see what's in a scene, and you just
that's not completely impossible. A lot of like data sharing communication companies have algorithms set up so that they can someone's calling me. Algorithms set up so that they can see whether like nudity is being sent between two people.
We should get in touch with Google, ask for their YouTube algorithm that just tags everything.
Yeah,
based on what it knows what you can see in a scene.
Mm-hmm. Well, the company that I work for has recently set up an algorithm like that, because there are like forums and stuff on certain websites, and so we can detect whether somebody is posting nudity and get that. Well, first we'll be notified. We can review it and then delete it.
Review it or download it.
I'm not part of the review process, so putting a heavy amount of trust on the people that are part of the review process.
Just one of the guys is always bringing in a hard drive and plugging it in for a few minutes and then going home.
So, I recently watched a film, Sharknado, on Netflix. No. It's funny. It's really funny.
Is it one of those movies that's so bad it's enjoyable?
It is actually enjoyable. Like, I really enjoyed it. There was 4 of us watching it, and we were like laughing, and like, it's so ridiculous. Like, a lot of the dialogue's really cheesy, which is just perfect. It's exactly what you want from a film like this. And one of the well, no, I don't know what I was going to say then, but I was looking on Netflix the other day, and because we watched the first one, some more of them were being suggested to me. I thought there was 2.
There's like 6 or something.
There is 6.
Yeah.
Okay, and I've seen the like cover artwork for, I think it's the 5th one. It's the same 3 people from the first one, so they've managed to survive throughout this whole thing.
All right.
One of them has a lightsaber, and the other one has superpowers.
You didn't just say that. That is ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous. One of the cover art is a shot of Earth from space with a shark floating around. I'm so, because we have these 2 people that, well, 2 friends that come over, and same day every week, and we'll spend the evening with them. And that's going to be a tradition now, watching the Sharknado films. And I'm so excited to see how they got from like these fucking surfers on a beach
Jedis
running away from
and superheroes in
to
space.
superheroes and Jedis and being in space and shit. And like, how do they justify sharks surviving in a vacuum? There's going to be some
they splice the DNA with spiders.
Exactly.
Or tardigrades. Referred to one episode earlier.
Last episode. Sorry, I had to pause the podcast for a second there. To you, it was just a break. To me, it was a very annoying 9 minutes. So, well, it wasn't even a break. I know what I meant. It's a cut.
It was very abrupt for you.
Yeah,
it was like
exactly.
we were talking about something, and now it's like, sorry about that.
So, yeah, we were talking about Sharknado. I've got another film to talk about.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Film coming out very soon is well, not soon. Fuck off, Connor. Stupid. A trailer was recently released.
Right.
Wreck-It Ralph 2.
I saw the trailer was released. I watched like 10 seconds of the trailer while I was scrolling through Facebook, but I didn't. I did notice that it looked like they got sucked through some cables, and I assumed they're uploaded to like the cloud or something, like the internet.
Well, I'm pretty sure like Wreck-It Ralph. No, that's wrong. Never mind. Anyway, yeah, the arcade installs a modem and plugs it into the same extension that all the arcades are plugged into. So they go into the hub, and then Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I noticed a few things that weren't game related.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were just
it's a lot
trend related. And it's like the Emoji Movie all over again.
Yeah, there was a guy. Well, a few people like bothering Ralph as they got to like the hub of the internet, like with clickbait articles and stuff. So I think it's going to be all like more of a commentary on the internet than a commentary on games, which was the cool thing about Wreck-It Ralph. I don't know. If
I liked Wreck-It Ralph because it was all about games.
Yeah, but now they're going into the internet, and it's not even going to be funny. Because it's going to be this muted, like censored, child-friendly version of the internet.
Yeah.
When if it was like a more adult comedy, it would be hilarious. It would be so good. But
the cool thing as well about the first one is that they had the rights to so many game characters.
Yeah.
But obviously they didn't use them all for the main storyline. So when they're walking through the central hub, if you looked in the background, you could spot some iconic characters.
I think they've got rights to a Mario character or two this time, because before it was mostly like Sega and Capcom and stuff like
Sega.
But now I think they've got like some big time rights. But again, they'll just use them for cameos.
I bet there's gonna be a Reddit robot in there.
That would be funny. I like the Reddit robots. Like I said last episode, I've just started.
Isn't there a whole subreddit of people just redesigning and creating new versions of the robot?
Well, I think there are a lot of robots, and usually each subreddit has its own robot. But like sometimes there's robots that are triggered by keywords, and like you'll say something as a comment, and then a robot will come up and like give you some stats about you or something like that.
I see. The most common one I see is remind me to like check this post in like 24 hours or something like that.
Right. And there's a bot that does it.
Yeah, and a bot will just come up and be like, okay, I will remind you in so many hours or whatever specified time to check back. But I'm going to be scanning the backgrounds in this new Wreck-It Ralph movie.
Definitely.
For like the more adult themes.
Yeah.
If I see a 4-leaf clover somewhere,
that would be amazing. So keeping on the theme of movies, have you seen that they did a live action Full Metal Alchemist film?
Yeah.
So I heard it's pretty bad. The CGI in it is pretty awesome. Like some of the stuff they've done is really cool, but the problem with it is the actors.
Okay.
The main character, I can't remember what he's called. Is it like Ed or something?
Edward, isn't it?
Is he the blonde one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the actor that plays him is put into all these really cool scenes with like CGI alchemy and shit going on around him, but he doesn't know how to interact with it because it's not there. So most of the time he's just stood still while things are going on around him. I mean, I haven't seen it, but from the clips I've seen, like...
Right. I don't know. It's like, if someone tells you, like, oh, have you seen the trailer of that latest movie that's based off the game? You're all like...
You immediately
go, no, it's going to be shit. And it, you know, like 99 times out of 100, it's a shit game, a shit movie even.
Yeah.
It's the same with anime. Like, they're all like, check out this live action version of this anime series or movie. You're like, nah.
Well, Bleach.
Did Bleach get?
Have you heard?
Oh,
Have
yeah.
You've heard? Have you
I've
seen the
heard.
trailer?
I've not seen the trailer. I didn't want to.
So the CG is really good. The holo, because it shows the scene where Ichigo stabs himself with Rukia's blade.
Yeah.
And he turns into a Shinigami. And the holo, the CGI on the holo is so cool, but also it looks like shit. The film looks horrible.
I don't know why they do it. It's so hard to translate games and anime into believable movie materials.
It's just not. It's never going to work ever.
I think the best chance we've got for a decent movie based off a game is the new Lara Croft bloody Tomb Raider movie that's coming out. It looks like they're throwing a lot of money into it.
Uncharted has a good shot.
As long as it don't just try to retell a story from the games, if it does a different story.
No, they are doing a different story. That's very important to Neil Druckmann.
Yeah.
They don't retell a game that it's a different story. But the problem with that is it's going to be young Drake, and I don't care. I don't want that. Like, Drake is.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be pretty decent as long as it's got like a really awesome Indiana Jones vibe to it
and a very good cast
and a very good cast
and like the guy playing Sully has to be perfect.
Yeah.
If he's even slightly off character, I'm just not going to watch the film.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's going to do it justice, and I wouldn't mind if it's a young Drake situation.
Yeah.
Maybe not too young. I don't want it to be feel more like a kids movie than like an adult movie.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's got some more adult themes and stuff in it.
Yeah, same.
But I think it'd be pretty nice because obviously the fourth game came out and he just retconned his whole brother into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it'd be nice to like kind of bridge the gap a bit.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, this is what they were doing.
Yeah,
like,
that's probably one of the weakest things I've seen Naughty Dog do. Is
well, I will give them credit. They did
shoehorning his brother in.
They did retcon him in really well.
Well, it's not bad.
As well as they could.
Like, they covered their ass. Pretty nice.
They had a reason why he wasn't around and all that.
Yeah, reason why they don't talk about him.
The reason why Drake was alone in Panama or where he was all the time, stuff like that. Like, and it wasn't just like one scene where they explained it. There was a few dialogues as well where it's like, where I think Drake mentioned to someone, it was to Elena on it, that if he wasn't in prison, then his brother was, and stuff like that. So it was like, maybe that's why at one point he was, when he was young, and he was like stalking Sully around fucking the streets of Guatemala or wherever the fuck it was. That'd probably explain why Sam wasn't around, because maybe he was in prison because he was a little bit older, wasn't
he? Oh yeah,
stuff like that.
Well, he said that he was going to leave him, didn't he? There was that whole scene with the motorbike and everything. So it was probably sometime around then. Like, he probably hadn't seen him since then or something.
Well, no, because
see, they retconned it so well.
I think you're just mixing it up, because he came back with a motorbike, didn't he? Because it had gone for a while.
Yeah.
And then they break it in the house, blah, blah, blah. And then they decide to change the name to Drake. And then that's where the adventure starts, doesn't it? And then obviously, like 2 or 3 years later, that's where young Drake shows up in Uncharted 3.
Maybe he was there. They just didn't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, they covered their asses. They didn't say I was specifically in jail at that point. There's a few dialogue choices that basically made you can make your own decision. He was either in prison or he would just lay in low or doing something else to they need some other thing and he was going to get that or whatever. So
I've got a couple more points on video game movies.
Okay.
When we talked, we did, right? We didn't lose the podcast where we talked about the Mario movie that's coming up.
Right.
Have you heard? There's a Sonic movie coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, what a coincidence.
Bubsy's going to get his own movie next. Fucking Crash Bandicoot. In fact, I don't mind if Crash Bandicoot gets his own movie. I think that for the kids, it'd be amazing.
Well, I don't know, because it's kind of in the same vein as Ratchet and Clank, and that film was Ratchet and Wank, shall we say.
Right.
I made that joke on Twitter already a few days ago. Now I look like an idiot.
No, but if I was a kid and I was playing Crash Bandicoot and then my mum came upstairs and was like, Ash, there's a Crash Bandicoot movie out in the cinema, let's go see it. I'd be all like,
As if parents are ever that in touch with it.
Yeah.
Or when we were kids, at least.
My parents were. The only reason I ever got into Harry Potter was because Mum took us to watch the first movie. I had no fucking idea what Harry Potter was. Then after I watched that, I read all the books. And
my dad was reading the books before the films came out.
My mum was reading the books before the film came out,
Yeah, right.
but I just never know. I didn't give a shit what she was doing, so I never paid attention to what she was reading. And the only reason she took us with us is because it was a kids' movie. With her, and we loved it. I read the books, and then I saw every single one in the movie in the cinemas even.
Yeah, it was a good franchise.
So yeah,
I just don't like how they're trying to stretch it out now. Have you seen that Hogwarts Go or whatever they're calling it? It's
yeah. I know what you're on about. I rolled my eyes hard,
yeah,
so hard. I
pulled a muscle in my retina.
I could feel my retinas trying to detach.
I just completely disregarded the logic of biology with that analogy, but whatever. So, speaking of video game movies, still on this this wagon.
I'm okay. Let's do it.
Assassin's Creed.
I've not seen that movie.
I've not seen that movie either, but I just wanted to segue onto this question that I wrote down. What's the coolest thing Assassin's Creed could do next?
End.
Good answer, but for you to be looking forward to a game,
for fuck's sake!
I would have said Egypt, and I think they did that well. I haven't finished it. But I have gone back and played it a few times when I'm not been in the mood for Monster Hunter. That's exactly what I said.
Either Vikings or ancient China. I think it'd be really cool.
Those are the two things. Well, no. Actually, that was kind of racist. I said ancient Japan, dynasty era Japan, Edo period Japan will be so cool.
Yeah, so like some ancient Eastern country, Japan, China, or something like that.
Something like that.
But see, the reason I said ancient China is because
they already did an ancient China game.
Did they?
Yeah, it's like a spin-off.
It's one of those. Yeah, well, those are fucking
Vita game or some shit.
Like Assassin's Creed Rogue and all that shit.
No, it's smaller than Rogue. I think
it's smaller.
It could actually be on Assassin's Creed Unity. They had these mini DLC,
one level things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It could have been one of them. I think. I don't know.
But no, I'd want a full dedicated game of ancient China because obviously China's been a fucking society for much longer than most of the world. So, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think that would be so cool. Vikings, though, I think I would be more excited about. If it was Vikings, I might.
Yeah, I've just got a raging boner for Vikings.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things about Vikings coming out these days, and I think it's because of the success of the TV show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games themed around Vikings. I don't know if it was ancient Japan, you'd obviously have to play as a Ronin. And then get,
it would be so cool.
End up in the order and all that.
I can just imagine it in my head, parkouring across those old Japanese roofs with those tiles that make that really satisfying
in any anime ever that's set in feudal Japan, you always make the little clinky noises that run around the roofs. So either that, or if they went in a completely different direction and made it less about an open world game and exploring and all that shit. I say exploring with air quotes. And just made it like a more intimate experience. Kind of like how Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice was. Yeah. The camera was very intimate and stuff like that. If it was something like that, I'd be really down for it. But yeah, so ancient.
I asked my girlfriend what she thought the next Assassin's Creed game would be, which is where this question came from. Right. I thought, I'll ask this on the podcast. But she said, which I don't think is completely impossible, but she said space.
Oh, I would hate that. I hope not. Was she joking? Or did she legit want to see an Assassin's Creed?
No, I don't think. No, because I phrased it differently to her. I said, "What do you think it will be? Not what do you want it to be?"
Oh, okay.
Which it's not a bad prediction really, because that's sort of the direction that game's going. But I think if they were to do that, space would be the modern time. You wouldn't go into the Animus to go to space age.
Yeah,
that would be the modern time, and then there would be some Animus scenes which were our modern time.
Right.
So they would be going back to a history of now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, dealing with terrorism or Donald Trump or something.
I think the thing about Assassin's Creed is that it works really well with just melee weapons. As soon as you start adding like automatic rifles
Yeah.
or even fucking laser rifles and shit like
Yeah,
that, it's not going to be fun.
My prediction of what they could end up doing is World War II, and I wouldn't want that at all. And you can just picture it, can't you? Like, oh, Hitler's part of the Templars or something, and I would hate it.
I don't know. I'm not saying I won't like it either, but I'm sure there's a way they could pull it off. Like, if instead of just being like this one-man army that's taking down all these Nazis to get to Hitler, fucking take him out, it was more like a stealth type game.
Wasn't there a game like that? Was it called Saboteur or something? Obviously, that wasn't.
No, that was about liberating Paris.
Yeah,
which was pretty cool.
Which was Assassin's Creed Unity. There was a really cool scene in Assassin's Creed Unity. I say scene. It's kind of like a scene, but like section of the game where the Animus is glitching out.
Is that how they explained all the glitches in the game?
No, but like there's this scene where you're just thrown into like modern day Paris, and you're like, what the fuck? Well, it's not really modern.
Oh
day,
yeah, I remember that.
And you climb in the Eiffel Tower, and then the fucking World War II Spitfire flies in and starts shooting at you and shit. And it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't know. I think the next move that they should do is either end the series or make one final game that ties up all the storyline and whatnot.
Yeah,
because it feels like they're just making games and they don't know where they want it to go. Because at first,
I don't think it's that they don't know where they want it to go. I think it's that it's a franchise. It works. It's making money, and they've got the money to keep making them.
Yeah, but like they don't have. I bet the person who made the first game had an idea of how they want it to end, or like a very loose idea, and then obviously they left or got fired or whatever, and Ubisoft have just kept it going for so long, and with every game,
that's the fate that Metal Gear Solid has got ahead of it.
I just don't think they have a plan for how they expect it to end. They're just like, right, this next game's going to be set in Egypt stories. Come on, quick, let's fire them. And
I don't know. I feel like the Assassin's Creed Origins had a lot more heart put into it, because that was the first game they did after saying, okay, they put their hands up and said, we're not going to make a game every year and make 3 spin-offs at the same time. We're going to dedicate 2 years to making a good game.
They could tell that people were starting to get pissed off. So it was like, right, we need to put effort into this next game. And it paid off. So I'd like for the next game to be like maybe the last in the series, but to have some effort into it and know exactly how it's going to end instead of just trying to keep it going for money.
Well, interestingly, what do you think it will be? Like, not would you like it to be, but what do you think it will be?
I don't know. It'll be so much stupid.
Honestly don't think it's so far-fetched that they are working on a Viking one. Because, like you said, like Vikings are really big at the moment. The TV show was successful. Everyone's hyped for the new God of War coming out. It's going to...
Yeah, there's a lot of Viking stuff.
There's a lot of Viking stuff.
Plus, Ubisoft made, what is it? Fucking For Honor. So they've already got loads of Viking assets left over.
Yeah. And I won't put it past them to reuse them either.
No.
Moving on. I've recently got a new game for the Switch because I got bored on the bus because I haven't had any games on Switch or 3DS to play lately, so I was like, fuck it, I'll get a new one. So I got Fire Emblem Warriors.
Yeah.
It's like a wushu fighter. I think that's what they're called. Wushu fighter.
Isn't Mushu a dish?
Mushu's the dragon from...
Yeah, but I'm sure Mushu's a meal. Mushu pork.
Something like that.
Whatever.
We're horrifically ignorant of
the Chinese culture. I don't know.
But it's a cool game. It's a very cool game.
Yeah, I want to get it, but I kind of want to get Xenoblade Chronicles as well.
Well, don't get it because you can just, you can
just use mine.
But
that's why I've only got 3 game cases for my Switch, by the way. You just keep saying, don't buy it, just borrow mine, just borrow mine. I was going to get Shadow of the Colossus, just so I've got my own copy. He was like, don't get that, just borrow mine.
Yeah. Well, so what was it? Yeah. So it's like the team that makes Dynasty Warriors. So it's exactly like Dynasty Warriors. Dynasty Warriors has fallen off a cliff lately. Like the last Dynasty Warriors game I played was atrocious.
This new one is atrocious.
They announced that the new one like has a full map of China, and it takes like 2 hours to cross from one side to the other. And I was like,
which sounded amazing.
So cool. And then it came out, and everyone's like, oh my god, do not buy this. And I think the reason for that is because they've moved on to working on other people's IPs. They made Hyrule Warriors. They made...
Which is also coming to the Switch.
Yeah, they made Fire Emblem Warriors. They made the One Piece one, which is
The
awesome.
One Piece one,
Yeah,
what I think it's there.
The One Piece Wushu fighter, I always call it. It's so good. I played it with my girlfriend. I think we're like one trophy off from a platinum, but for that trophy you need to get every collectible, which are all RNG drops.
Wow.
But it's not that big of a deal. Like, normally I'd complain about that, but it's such a fun game to just turn on and play that we'll get there eventually. Because we have... I've had it for like over a year now, and we still like every now and then go back to playing it. And then once we do, we'll get back in the mood for it, and we'll play it like every day for a month. It's just a really good game. But yeah, this Fire Emblem one is quite different. They've tried to make it more of a story, and there's like RPG elements. There's like a skill tree and stuff like that, which is really cool and everything. But I'm pretty sure Fire Emblem games are like famous for their story being really good.
Yeah.
And the characters being really good. The characters are cool. There's a lot of cool characters. There's one called Camilla, who is, your typical huge, big-breasted Japanese lady.
Ooh.
But she's hilariously aware of it. Like, if you finish a level playing as a character, you'll get a little like victory screen from them. And she like leans towards the camera and then she goes, "My eyes are up here." And it's like, damn, she got me.
Next time. Damn, she got me again.
But yeah, the story is so far has been so silly. So it's like trying to introduce characters.
Not to be offensive, but it is Japanese and they do have ridiculous stories.
But here, listen to this because it is silly. So it's introducing the characters, and I feel like once it's done introducing characters, we'll be done with this ridiculous pattern. But so you'll find a new group of characters, and you'll fight them, and then they'll listen to your cause, and then they'll join you and like, oh, your cause is good, and then you'll carry on for a little bit, and then so somebody who knows those characters that just joined you will have a scout that sees them in your army and think they're prisoners of your army, and then they'll attack you, and then you've got to beat them to get the chance to explain to them they're not prisoners, they're helping us out, and then they'll go, oh yeah, we agree with your cause, let's join you. And every single fight so far has been that. Like, introduce a new army, that new army is annoyed,
right?
That thinks we've captured someone. But anyway, I finally got to a quest, a story, which isn't that a mission, as they phrase it. I think it's not that. It's there's two armies that are fighting each other. Both armies are allies of you, and you know that they shouldn't be fighting. They're just misunderstood. Again, every fight that's broken out is a misunderstanding.
Right. And
you need to stop them from fighting each other. But they're at the other side of the map, and to get to them, you have to take out the forts and then stop them. But taking out the forts on the way, if you take out too many of one side's forts, the other side will win, and that fails the mission. So you've got to take one side on the right, take a fort on the left, take a fort on the right, take a fort on the left. Meanwhile, there's little submissions that come up like, oh, they've called for reinforcements. Stop this messenger before he gets to this fort. Or they'll call for reinforcements and be massive, like have a massive advantage, so the other team will lose. And it's ridiculous. You're constantly running back and forth. And there's also collectibles and like rare weapons you can find. And meanwhile, I'm trying to do all these 50 things that the quest's asking me to do and get all these collectibles, and it's mental. I haven't managed to do it. Like, I think if I just dropped the whole idea of getting the collectibles, I could probably do it, but I'm just really stubbornly trying to get them.
Yeah.
It's just so difficult.
How do they explain that, though, like, when you finish the quest? Like, you guys should not be fighting. Here's the reasons why. By the way, I've just cut some bloody swaths through your fucking army.
That's what I don't get about it, because you'll go into battle with them, and you'll kill literally 2,000 plus of their soldiers, of their army that they need for these wars that they keep breaking out because they don't understand something.
Just to tell them, like,
just to get to them,
just to say you shouldn't be fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, you're both 2,000 units down.
Yeah, exactly. It's so silly. But yeah, I haven't got past that quest, so I don't see how it resolves. But it's so like, it just doesn't make sense. And I'm pretty sure Fire Emblem is famous for having a good story, and this is just so silly. And I've heard that it's a really good game as well, which is part of why I got it. And I don't understand like why I've not seen anybody talking about how silly this story is.
I hope Hyrule Warriors isn't like that. I hope they just realize that it's not fucking canon. I know they just let you run around as Link.
I hope
and
it's like a Smash Brawl type.
yeah, they just let you run around as Link with a fucking army, meet up with Zelda on the battlefield, and like this is
Fuck
because you
up.
never sucked my dick, bitch,
Yeah.
and just fucking slice it
Oh,
up, man.
I'm really excited for that. I hope it's a lot better than Hyrule
Yeah.
Warriors. I mean, not Hyrule, Fire Emblem Warriors, but I am enjoying it. I'm gonna get you to play it today. I think you'll really enjoy it. Maybe avoid story and just go straight for some multiplayer action. The story is actually multiplayer. I wonder if that quest would be a lot less impossible if somebody was helping me. But yeah, that's Fire Emblem Warriors.
Sounds conflicted.
Speaking of the Switch, let's just take a moment to appreciate that it's been a year since the Switch came out.
Yeah.
That's mental. It does not feel like it's been a year. It feels like maybe 5 months.
It feels like that for me because I got it much later than you.
Yeah, but even so, it's been like 8 months or something since you got one.
Yeah.
Which, like, must feel weird. If I think a year feels weird.
Yeah. I don't know. I just can't believe it's gone so fast. There's loads of people that still don't have it and they still really want it.
Yeah.
I'd have had mine much sooner if the whole fucking NAND flash shortage thing didn't happen.
That's true. I forgot about that. One of the things I can't believe though, which I think is partly why I can't believe it's been a year, is how small my Switch game collection actually is. Like yours is even smaller.
Yeah.
But like my PS4 game collection is fucking enormous. Probably partly because of PS Plus, to be fair. But I would have expected in a year to the.
I think it's because at the moment, half the games that are coming out are parts of older games that we've already played.
Everything that there is to play on the Switch is either a port, which we're not interested in,
Because we played it before.
yeah, or an indie game, which I cannot get into the indie game craze because I lose interest in indie games so quickly, and I don't know why.
I enjoy a good indie game, but I don't enjoy every indie game. It's got to be a good, like,
Yeah,
there's people out there who
yeah,
just
exactly.
play
I was just
exclusively fucking indie games.
I was
And
going
it's
to say
like,
exactly those words.
I'm all for supporting small teams and stuff like that, but it's got to be a decent game. And a lot of indie games now are so like pretentious and, oh, look at us, we're so creative and thoughtful, and like they'll make a game where the whole fucking concept is you've got to like live life by doing boring, mundane tasks, and it's supposed to be some fucking
like
dialogue, and it's
like an art installment that they're charging you money for.
yeah. But there's some really cool ones like Octodad.
Yeah, that's fun.
I've never played it, but it looks like it'd be a
Gang
fucking
Beasts as
blast.
well. Gang Beasts is an indie game, and
But then you get the ones where it's just
like pretentious.
you just walk through an admittedly pretty, environment.
But there's nothing to do.
There's nothing to do. You just look for, like, there's one called. There's a fucking 1,000 of them, but I'm pretty sure there's just one for the PlayStation that we got on PS Plus.
It was on Vita, I think. I know the one you're talking about.
No, there's one that I know what you're on about.
Okay,
It's,
okay.
it's very like 8-bit sort of.
It's just like a tour.
Yeah,
There's literally nothing to do. You just walk around there. It's like, oh, it's a meditation.
There's one that's got like it had a BAFTA award or something like that. All right, some fucking massive award.
Are you talking about Bound?
Not Bound.
Have you played Bound?
I have.
It's all right.
It's alright. I was more blown away at the beginning with the sand.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called, but Everybody Gone at the Rapture, I think, it's something like that.
Oh, that
You
that's
just walk
really
around.
famous. No, I've played that, and that is ridiculous.
You
You're just looking for like glowing lights,
glowing
and then
lights.
listening to this like fucking Emmerdale Yorkshire ass story about why they
and
disappeared.
That's it, and everyone loves it, and I'm like, you just walk around.
No, I was so bored playing that. I can't lie.
I want to.
Maybe it's because I didn't own the game. I was playing it at a friend's house, and he was already like halfway through it. So maybe I
think-
wasn't invested.
I think I
from
looked at the
beginning.
trophy list, and there was like a platinum or something like that, and I was like, I'm gonna have to play that.
Do we
Or
have
is
it?
it-
Did you say we have it? From
We've got
PS
it
Plus?
I've got it. It was on PS Plus a while ago. I got it from then.
I don't think
Yeah.
I got it, so I might have missed it.
I like a good indie game. I've got one. I forgot what it's called. I backed it on Kickstarter. I think it's called like Basement or something like that. And the whole game it's like 8-bit, and you've got to make a successful illegal drug company. You hire cooks who like grow the weed and make all the meth and stuff like that. And then you got bouncers to protect it all, dealers and stuff like that. And then what you can do, I was playing it in the early days and it was quite limited, but I think the last time I played it, which was like 2 or 3 years ago, I can't remember how long it's been out now, they updated it so that you could send out your little goons to fucking this other building, kill everyone in there, and you can use that as your second lab and all that shit. It was pretty fun.
That was cool.
I also backed another one called Mainlining, which is really interesting, right? The whole game is you're looking at an operating system. You're like some sort of data fucking agent guy thing, right?
Yeah.
And like an analyst. And people will be doing investigations, and you've got to find the criminal by looking at the report, finding names, cross-referencing the names with like a criminal database, finding out if where they say they live on their passport or something like that is actually where they live. All sorts of really cool shit. It doesn't hold your hand for you. You got to figure it all out for yourself. Yeah. I backed that, and that was pretty cool.
Oh, cool. I think the 2 indie games I probably liked the most is Prison Architect.
Oh yeah, I like that.
I've played so much Prison Architect.
Another Kickstarter game.
Yeah, I think it might even still be in like beta though, which is...
I don't know. I know that they've released it on PlayStation 4 now.
Oh, so it must be a full release.
Yeah, I think it's...
Oh, I might get it then.
Yeah.
Because I haven't played it, obviously.
I was going to get it because it had like DLC and stuff with it.
All right.
I was going to... And it was on sale.
The other one, I can't actually remember what it's called. It was a PS Plus game. You play as a singer with red hair. And you've got... Transistor, that's what it's called.
Oh, Transistor.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. Did you ever play Escapees?
No.
That was pretty cool. I platinumed the first one. I got the second one. I don't know if it's it's not the second one. It was like a spin-off of the Walking Dead one. I've got that, and
I
was going to
had a friend in uni who was a beta tester on it, so she had a free copy before it came out, and I remember playing it with her on a...
Like I think it's called the Escapees. The Escapees 2's come out, hasn't it? Or something like that.
Isn't it Escapist?
Escapist or something. Yeah, I don't know. But that was a cool indie game. But the point is, there are really cool indie games out there, but not every indie game is worth the praise that it gets. Some people just praise every indie game because it's indie.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's a very controversial topic. There's that woman who, during the whole Gamergate thing, there was that woman who, the whole reason it started off is because she made a game, and the whole game was about, it was like purely like dialogue based. I don't even think there was like, I don't know, anything pretty to look at, but it was about depression or something like that. Living with depression or something. Right. That's not a fucking game. That's life, man. You don't want to play that. So and it got quite a bit of praise because, it was so daring to talk about depression. It's like, yeah, maybe it's better to talk about depression with a professional rather than a game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There is a really cool indie game that I haven't played, but I've seen, and I've wanted to play it. It's called Night in the Woods, something like that.
Right.
It's basically just like a storytelling game. There's a few different branches. It's a bit like something else I played, but I can't remember what it was. But basically, depending on which friend you choose to spend more time with, like the story changes.
Right.
It's really cool. It's got like a really, really nice aesthetic to it. So,
best indie game though that deserves all the praise it gets is totally Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Oh, it is an indie game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Independently. But to be fair, that's a pretty big company that made it.
They're actually not that big.
All right.
I'm just saying, like, I think they got like 15, maybe 20 employees or something like that. It's not big. It's definitely not big in today's standard. There's like Bungie's got 500 employees or something.
And still managed to fuck a game up.
Yeah, still managed to fuck a game up.
So, well, I was going to say before we move on to the game that I promised. What is your favourite indie game? But I guess that is
Hellblade.
your answer. Yeah. Cool, we can move on then. The Google Off game. For those of you who didn't listen last episode, fuck you. Also, this is how it works. So, I Googled 2. Well, I've got an extension on Chrome which shows me how many, on average, searches per month search term gets.
Right.
And I took 2, like, contrasting search terms. And Ash's job in this game is to figure out which of those search terms is
Most common, most frequently
searched on average per month in the current, like at the moment.
Okay.
Because it's like, it's not all time.
Okay.
It's currently.
Okay.
That's pretty much how it works.
All right, then cue the bloody game intro music.
All right, let's kick this off. So, there's 10 questions. Get 5 right, I say is a fair...
Okay.
I mean, you have no way to know. Well, some of it's like logic. So.
Okay. Question 1.
Question 1. Out of these 2, which one is the most searched on Google?
Okay.
Android
Mm-hmm.
or iOS?
Android.
Yes, it is. Android gets around 2,740,000 searches per month, and iOS gets a flat 1 million. But I was a bit underhanded with this because I felt like you would probably say Apple. So instead of searching Apple, I changed it to iOS, which is like not a lot of users are advanced enough to know to search that instead of.
The reason I went with Android is because Android is less restricted than iOS, so there'll be a lot more problems and people will be searching for a lot more.
Yeah.
And whenever I search for a problem, I always put the operating system or the device name first and then the issue afterwards.
Yeah.
So.
Question 2.
Question 2.
Call of Duty.
All right.
Or Battlefield.
Battlefield 1 is really big at the moment, isn't
It is. I think. I don't know.
it? It really is. But then the Call of Duty's come out with something. Just booped the mic. Boop. I'm going to go with Battlefield.
You're wrong.
It's Call of Duty still.
Call of Duty gets 3,350,000 searches per month, and Battlefield gets 1,830,000.
Wow. It's at least 3 times popular.
Yep. Pokemon. Oh, question 3, sorry. Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Or Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter?
No.
Currently.
No, see, I thought, because currently it would be the most searched term. I reckon if I put it in Japanese,
Yeah, fair enough.
it would.
Yeah.
Actually,
Pokemon.
this is ridiculous. Pokemon gets 11,100,000 searches per month.
Monster Hunter's got 5.
Monster Hunter has 450,000.
Oh, wow.
Okay, question 4.
Yep.
America or Russia?
Are people really worried about what Russia's doing?
I don't know. There was that big thing, wasn't there, when Trump was being elected?
I don't know. I think more shit goes on in America with all the school shootings and shit. So I'd go for America.
You're wrong.
Wrong.
America gets 1,220,000 searches per month, and Russia gets 2,240,000 searches per month. 2,240,000.
Did you search for America or United States? I reckon United States.
I put in America. People would probably put US or USA, so
Yeah.
it's another underhanded little...
You fucking cheat.
Okay. Question 5.
Yeah, question
PlayStation
5. PlayStation.
or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Nope.
No.
No.
How is Xbox
Go back to your logic for the first question.
What was my logic for the first question? The system being restricted.
Well,
So,
there's more problems on
with
Android
Xbox.
for people to try and resolve.
does the Xbox have issues this time around?
I don't know. I can only assume.
I remember in Xbox 360, when Xbox 360 came out, everyone was like, "The fuck does this red ring mean?
Yeah.
Keep getting this red ring on my Xbox."
To be fair, PlayStation 3 had the yellow light of death. But
It wasn't as common, though, was it?
We've both had a PlayStation 3 each and never had a problem with it.
Yeah.
And we've had like 15 Xbox 360s and
Yeah.
they've all had red rings.
Also,
so.
my PlayStation 4, which I got first week of it coming out like 4 years ago still is running brilliantly. Doesn't make loud noises like
Mine's
yours
very
does.
loud.
Yeah.
But it's alright, I have a PS4 Pro, so.
Okay, rub that in.
So far,
There's no way of winning this, right?
well,
Do I have to get all
that
the
was the
remain?
5th question,
I have to get the remaining ones.
and you have one. So
Right.
you have leeway to get one more wrong. The next one. Oh wait, no. Sorry, I haven't.
I have to get all the next ones right.
No. I didn't tell you the values.
All right.
So PlayStation gets 2,740,000
Right.
a month, and Xbox gets 3,350,000 searches per month.
All right.
The next one, question 6: Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
Logan Paul.
You're right.
Yeah.
Logan Paul. So Jake Paul gets 2,740,000 searches per month, and Logan Paul gets 3,350,000 searches per month. Do those values sound familiar to you?
No.
Allow me to read the PlayStation versus Xbox values again.
Are you basically saying Logan Paul's Xbox?
Logan Paul and Xbox have the exact same number of search terms per month, and Jake Paul and PlayStation have the exact same. And I thought my extension was glitching out, so I did it over and over and over again and like tried different searches beforehand to see if it was pulling from that, but there was nothing.
Wow.
And it's ridiculous. I'm so confused. Like, I literally put a note like, what? They match exactly. What the fuck? How did that even happen? Like, and it's such a coincidence for me to put that as the next question as well, and to search those values next, and for them to be exactly the same as the question before.
That is insane.
It's just one of those things in life, though, isn't it? Really?
Next question.
Yes, the next question. Question number 7. We're on now?
Yeah.
7. The first search term is, was the moon landing fake? The second
Flat Earth.
question is the world flat?
Is the world flat?
Mm-hmm. That's how I phrased it. That's exactly how I put it into Google.
Is that the...
Was the moon landing fake versus is the world flat?
I feel like everyone's moved off from the fucking fake moon landing thing.
Okay.
Flat Earth is really popular right now. Everyone's fucking talking about it.
It is.
I don't know which one I'm going for, mate. I'm trying to read your facial expressions.
I'm trying to hide my facial expressions very poorly.
Flat Earth.
Nope, you're wrong.
Oh.
So, was the moon landing fake is searched 40,500 times a month. And
Flat Earth is less than 40,000. That's shocking.
And is the world flat is searched 33,100 times per month. But that is in that specific phrasing, so...
Right.
And that wasn't me being underhanded or trying to trick you or anything. That's just how I typed it in. So.
Right, okay.
That's a 0. So you have 2 points, and there are 3 questions left. So you need to get all of them right.
Okay.
These are 2 questions again.
Okay.
Number 1. Why is my penis small? Which is now in my search history on my work computer. And number 2. Why are my breasts small? Which do you think is searched more?
Guys are really, really obsessed with penis size, but I don't think like they'd be too embarrassed to search that, right? Whereas women are just... Do people not understand why they have small genitalia and shit? I was going to go for the fucking booze one, mate.
Oh!
Is it wrong?
Yeah, you're wrong. You've lost, but we'll keep going. So, why is my penis small? Is searched 2,900 times a month.
Wow.
Why are my breasts small? Is searched 210 times a month.
Well, maybe women just don't care as much as guys.
Or they phrase it differently.
Oh, they phrase it differently.
Okay. Going back to old school.
Okay.
Pirates
Right.
or ninjas? Which is searched more?
Pirates.
Oh.
Huh?
No. I can see where your logic is coming from. It's kind of like Google's.
You
just trying
said
to
right
fuck
at the
you.
beginning, right? These are based off of the current trends and shit, but it doesn't seem like it is because PlayStation is much more massive than Xbox.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just how
You fucking did me at the beginning, mate.
Yeah, I did. I shouldn't have said that.
You shouldn't have said that.
Anyway, so Pirates gets a flat 1 million searches per month, and Ninjas gets 2,240,000 searches per month. Who's searching for ninjas? What reason do people have
12-year-olds.
to search ninjas at the moment?
12-year-olds who watched Naruto one time.
So the last question.
Which I'm going to go against all logic for.
Well, okay, do what you want. Do people search more for Ash or Connor?
Connor. No, Ash.
Yeah, Ash.
I was thinking like
'Cause,
Americans. There'll be some hot girl out there called Ash, and everyone's fucking googling for her.
Yeah. Plus, my name is a very specific spelling, which isn't as common as
Well,
single
you
N
should have said
or
spelt
with an E.
with an OR.
Well, I feel like if I clarified that, you would have instantly said, "It doesn't matter anyway. You lost, so fuck you." Ash gets 368,000 searches per month.
Yeah.
And Connor gets 90,500 per month.
Cool.
And my friend Yosef from work gets about 200 searches per month.
Oh, Joseph.
So that was the Google Versus game, and you lost.
Quite hard.
It was very difficult. I apologise for that.
It's alright, I like a good hard game.
It's not the only good hard thing you like.
I'm
so funny. Okay, well, thanks for listening.
plug the shit.
We hope you enjoyed it. We really appreciate you joining us today. And you can find us on Twitter at UT2Cast. You can also find us on iTunes, on YouTube, and on our website, ut2cast.podbean.com. But the easiest way to find all those things is just to follow us on Twitter, and you'll never miss a thing.
Our links there.
Yep, plus Twitter is like the central hub of
We
everything
believe you
do.
are intelligent people. You could just Google for us.
Exactly. Although I'm not pretentious enough to assume that we'll actually turn up on Google yet. So
Dream big.
yeah.
Goodbye. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Bye. Send us nudes.